Alright, we're about halfway through this game. So now I'm about to play World 4, which is Giant Land. Go down the pipe to the right, and you'll come up to your first section of worlds. Or maybe not. I'm going to backtrack. Why? Going to the end house. Okay. Let's see here. 10 cent and a flower. Fail. Mushroom. Mushroom. Alright. And I think this is the second in-house that I completed, or it may be the first one, I don't know. But anyhow, go to the pipe to the right. Okay. Now, if you may recall, I did receive a hammer back in World 2. And this is the reason why I needed it here. There's a special looking house from Toad that I need to get to. So I'll break the wall with the hammer, go into the house, and I get a Tanuki suit. Now, what a Tanuki suit does, it allows you to not only gain the same capabilities as when you're a Raccoon Mario, but you also turn into a statue, making you temporarily invincible to your enemies. Okay, now we're on stage 1. And immediately we see why it's called Giant Land. Everything is twice its normal size. Now this stage isn't really that hard. You just have to be mindful of where you step. Now if you fly upwards, if you have Raccoon or Tanuki Mario, you'll be able to access this secret section of the stage. Just gotta watch out for Big Calvin. He now spits out baby Cheep Cheeps at you. He'll spit them out and then eat them back up, which really doesn't make any sense, but that's the way the game was programmed. Grab the coins and the 1-ups, or die. Let's try this again. My timing was way off, so can't blame anybody but myself. Anywho, now for this section of the stage, whoa, that was close. Really isn't that difficult. Again, you just have to be mindful of where you're stepping. Now that you know where the secret is, I'll just go on ahead and complete the stage. Now this is a hard part, especially if you're trying to get all the coins. Koopa Troopers everywhere, breakable blocks, the flame-breathing piranha plants, and narrow platforms, so it's kind of difficult. But if you just be careful and just watch where you're going, you'll be alright. Alright, stage 2. Continuing with the giant theme. If you notice, this Cheep Cheep is normal size, which is kind of unusual. I would expect the big one to be here. But at any rate, the small Cheep Cheep is much easier to deal with. Now this is where the fun begins. Now you have the Cheep Cheeps flying upwards to get you. Just like in World 2-3 and World 7-3 on the original Mario. Yeah. See this P block? Hit it and get as many coins as you can. And the star helps tremendously here, because any Cheep Cheep that hits you would just simply be defeated. Otherwise, you would just have to run as fast as you can. Now, if you collect all the coins in this stage, look what pops up. Toad's secret house. And we have ourselves an anchor. Let's go to his regular house and see what we can grab. We have a mushroom. Good. Good. Now we go to stage 3. And for this one, I recommend at least starting as Super Mario. Reason being, you see the Sledge Brothers. Anytime they jump and you're on the ground, you won't be able to move. So they are very difficult to deal with. Now we have the Buzzy Beetles here as we go underground. And not only do we have the Buzzy Beetles, we also have Paratroopa Troopers and the oh so notorious tricky platforms. If you get to be Raccoon Mario, keep it as long as possible. Whoa, that was close. Ah, dang it! No matter. Now, there's something I missed when I came here. These 2 coins, and also the 1-up. Slowly let the 1-up drop down until you get it. Now, here's the tricky part. This is where you would really need Raccoon Mario, unless you have very good timing and very good reflexes. If you hit those blocks, you will bounce off of them. And if you go down the slope too fast, you'll probably fall in the pit and die, so be very careful. If you had Raccoon Mario, you'll just be able to float from platform to platform. That'll make it a little bit easier. Alright, now for the first mini fortress of World 4. This one isn't difficult, but you have a couple of new things. Not only do you have the sliding thwomps, but you have the pieces of fire that actually walk and chase you. Now, the best way to go is to take the 3rd pipe, the one that's in the middle. You'll go underground, just avoid the Dry Bones Troopers and the Boogos. Knock out the secret coin boxes and go back up. And you're at Boom Boom, just that quick. And he uses the same old formula. Alright, slide time. I might be able to get this one. Crap! Missed it. Oh well. Stage 4. Now this is where I mentioned earlier where I would need the frog suit. And this is why. If you go here, normally you'll be pushed up. But see, as Frog Suit Mario, you can force your way down. So you can go in the pipe, hit the P block, and get yourself a bunch of goodies. You have 2 P blocks here. Shoot, wasn't fast enough to get every single coin, but hey, just something neat. So now with Frog Suit Mario, this stage will be a whole lot easier. Just swim as fast as you can. There is a lake or 2 above you throwing spinies. So get through the stage as fast as you can without getting hit. And there's stage 4. And there's another in-house. This one's a lot harder this time around. Let's see. Got ourselves a mushroom here. Now what I'm going to do at this point, there are 3 Hammer Brothers I have to face off. In this case, since it's Giant Land, 3 Sledge Brothers. What I'm going to do is let him make me little, then stomp on him. Reason being is because the frog suit is very hard to move around in. I would not recommend it. Unless you're in the all water stage, of course. So I have 2 more Sledge Brothers to deal with. For this one, for one, I'm just going to use Super Mario and show you the technique again. Get as close to him as you can. Try not to be on the ground when he jumps, otherwise you won't be able to move. It's all about timing. Okay, stage 5. Right off the bat, you have 2 giant Koopa Troopers. Crap. I'm not worried about it. There you go. 2 giant Koopa Troopers. Knock out the block, try not to get hit in the process. Grab the power up. Now this one is interesting. Because in this one you have bullet bills that turn around and they'll chase you. The bullet bills are hard enough, but now that they turn around and chase you, yeah. It makes it a little bit more difficult than usual. Uncover the vine at the top without getting hit and go up the pipe. You have a P-switch and a large box. Grab the Tanuki suit, smash the P block, and go back down. And that's one of the handy things about the Tanuki Mario. Hold down and press B, and he turns into a statue for a short period of time. Very helpful if you get in tight spots. Well, there goes that. If I had taken my time instead of trying to rush through it, I actually would have gotten it. Stage 6. This is the most interesting of the stages in Giant Land. Reason being is because you have 2 sides to it. Grab the one up from up there. Get the coins. Now, do you see the door here? What will happen if you go in the door is everything will return to normal size. Trying to remember, is there a 1-up at this section too? I don't think so. But there's a star. I mistimed that jump. No problem. There's another star here. Now one of these blocks actually, there it is. The first one you hit has a 1-up. Now you can complete the stage in either fashion. Stay in the normal size stage or go back to the giant stage. I think I'll do it in the giant stage. Reason being, there are plenty of secrets in both. so it's well worth it to visit both. Let's see if I can do it without dying. Grab the power up if you're in the giant section. Knock out this Koopa Troopa, and guess what you get? A star! Now in that other section where I was earlier in the normal land, if you go into it in the giant stage, you just get a whole bunch of coins, not necessarily a mushroom, a one-up mushroom. But hey, it's a good bonus either way. Not worried about losing the Tanuki suit because I have another one. I have two now. Now let's take care of this last ledge, brother. Gonna get a little cheap here. And I got a P-Wing. Awesome. Now for the second mini fortress of the game, I suggest at least Raccoon Mario. Or Tanuki Mario if you have it. Reason being, you have the donut platforms, and as we well know, if you stay on them too long, you will die. Because they'll fall. On top of that, you have the Dry Bones Troopers, and the setting of the platforms, you don't have that much room to work with. So once you get across, hit the section with the P block, you'll see a box of coins around the door. Go in the door and you go into a secret compartment. Now this may not look familiar to some, but you'll end up going somewhere similar. You'll see these in World 7, which is the Pipe World. Now these floating platforms here, if it has a, simply put, the direction you see on it is the direction you'll go. The ones with the exclamation points, these are the ones that will actually, they change direction every time you jump. So whenever you land on one, the following sequence is switches from up to left to up to right. Like so. Up, left, goes back up, and it goes to the right. And then it repeats every time you jump on it. Now these things do have a time limit on it, so you won't be able to stay on it forever. Now if you saw when that was falling, there is a 1-up at this section. Knock out the 2 blocks and grab that 1-up. Okay, now for this part, you have yet more 1-ups, a box full of 3. If you have Raccoon Mario, you can fly up and grab a whole bunch of coins by knocking out those blocks. But since I grabbed the firepower, won't be able to do so. So once you come out of the pipe, go straight to Boom Boom and dispose of him quickly. Alright, so now we're at the main fortress of Giant Land. And it seems the king has been turned into a dinosaur here. So now we go on to the 4th Doom ship of the game, which is, to me, the most unique of the Doom ships. Because as you can see, it moves very slowly. Now you have the flame torches to deal with here, so be very careful. Grab the coins that you see if you can. Now remember the actual platforms that you saw in World 3? this is one of those situations here where if you do not keep jumping, you will fall and you will have to suffer a consequence. Namely, getting hit by the flame torches. Now, there are two paths you could take, the upper or the lower path. Now here you have the Wreck-It Wrench to deal with. Unlike other worlds, they do come back even after if you defeat one. So be very careful. Now this is the trickiest section. You have all of these short platforms, and you have the flame torches to deal with too. So the key thing, what I like to do, is let the screen scroll until Mario almost falls off the top of that platform. Then I jump and slowly float down to the top. Because as you can see, going the lower route, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 flames to deal with. Unless you're perfect in your timing, I recommend going the top route because it is very difficult to get through that section without losing a power-up. Now here, there's a power-up hidden in this block. Just be careful not to fall off the Doom ship. Alright, so here we have the first of the Koopa twins, which is Hip. He's fairly easy. He jumps more than he shoots his wand. So he's done. Also, I might add, in my opinion, Hip is actually the easiest of the Koopa kids to beat on this game. So the king is returned to normal. You get a letter from Princess Toadstool, and she includes with it a P-Wing. Now a little bit about Hip, as well as his twin Hop, which you'll meet in World 6, Iceland. Basically, they're the youngest of the Koopa kids, and they are total naive. They're supposedly flunked Koopa Garden. They finish each other's sentences. They rarely go anywhere without the other. And if it weren't for the fact that Koopa himself created the most powerful wands for those two, they really wouldn't be much of a threat to the Mario Brothers. So there we have it, my friends. The end of World 4, which is Giant Land. It's kind of a short world, but interesting nonetheless. So once again, I'm going to save state here. And on the next round, on the next episode, rather, the next part, we'll be going into World 5, which is Skyland. So now we're officially halfway through the game. And I'll get you through the rest of the game, showing you every trick I know. So I hope to see you in Skyland.